So it's been a while since the last video we uploaded, about a month or so. And when I uploaded that video, I talked about how just like the whole situation that's going on in the world, especially here in the States, kind of not conducive to, us wanting to do anything for the channel, really. And guess what? About a month later, it's only gotten worse. It's not gotten better. It really freaking sucks out there. So I said, you know what, screw it. Let's just put up a video, hopefully get a little distraction going. Now, full disclosure, we have shot some videos in the meantime. I just have been busy on top of the aforementioned reason this past December. But it's kind of cooling off right now, literally and figuratively. So I said, you know what, let me just upload something because it has been a month. And during December, we get a lot of sales. And you know what I am? I'm a movie maniac, baby. So that means we got a lot of movies in the meantime. And what better thing to distract us from the realities of the world, if not sometimes school us about the realities of the world, than movies, man. So there was a lot of sales everywhere. I picked up a lot of stuff. Most notably from the Scream Factory sale, which, if you know, Scream Factory, shout. They just kind of went to a distributor form through Groove. And they shut down their website, so they cleared out a lot of stuff. So people were scrambling to get the deals, and the deals were gotten. Let me say that. But I also got stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. I got stuff from Severine sale, and just some other random stuff. So we're gonna take a peek into what I got. Plus, we also have a Brad box in the mix. Let's just get into it, guys. I just got boxes everywhere, so I'm just gonna reach in, man. First up, this was from the Scream sale, Ghost Story. This is a kind of overlooked, even to this day, classic, I would say. Or deserves to be called one anyway. With a lot of old school actors in it. And just let me read you this cast. Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., John Houseman. And this is based on the story by Peter Straub, which we won't get into the, nitty gritty of how good an adaptation it is. It's just a good movie. Whether it's a good adaptation or not, notwithstanding, it's just a good picture, man. And like I said, one of those that it just doesn't really get talked about often enough. So if you haven't seen this, check this out. I won't spoil anything. Just prepare for something very old school. I will say that, and memory might be betraying me here, but I do remember being kind of like, this is a score, kind of like with Link, the movie Link, classic monkey movie. Although I hated the score in Link. Love the movie, hate the score. I don't remember hating the score in this. I do remember being like, this is a thing I'm listening to, but I could be wrong. It's been a very long time since I've actually rewatched this, so I could actually be wrong, and this could actually suck, but I don't remember it sucking. I think it's been a solid maybe 20 years since I've seen it. But I Scream Factory, $8, man. I couldn't pass that up. This was a blind buy, and it's namely for The Seventh Curse. It also has Witch from Nepal, which whatever. I don't care. I'll watch it, and hopefully it's good. But I know nothing of it. This is what I wanted to see, and it's because it's from the director, the insane director of Ricky O, The Story of Ricky, which, if you know, you know. And if you don't, let me tell you, that's one of the wildest, craziest, funniest, goriest movies to come out of the East. And apparently this guy just deals that type of insanity every time. Seventh Curse being one, and the other one's called The Cat, I believe, which also recently got released, and I plan on getting. But I plan on getting them in I don't know, in support of the idea that we may one day get a good official release on Blu-ray or 4K of Ricky O, man, The Story of Ricky. But I really, really look forward to seeing that. Blind buy a bit, but I had to. Next up, Waxwork and Waxwork 2, Lost in Time. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I'll rewatch it and give it a shot, but me and Guntik watched Waxwork, both of us for the first time, back, I don't know, man, maybe 15 years ago or so. And Really enjoyed it. Fun time, man. It's a real fun movie. And then we followed it with Waxwork 2, and almost immediately we're like, this is a real stinker. I don't know. Maybe my mind will change. We shall see. But the real reason I got it was because of Waxwork. The OG. This is a Vestron release. Got it for 14 bucks. I mean, can't beat that, man. Because really, I'm just buying it for that one movie. But hopefully Waxwork 2 is better than I remember it being. Unfortunately, I remember it being poo. So there's that. But Waxwork 1. Highly recommend. Next up. Oh, yeah. Razorback. Yes, man. This is a Russell Mulcahy movie. He of Highlander fame. This was from the Shout Factory sale, but I put my on my Umbrella disc in there also. The Umbrella disc does play in America, but it was from the era of Umbrella movies where your menu would freeze. You know, you could see the movie, but if you try to go back to your menu, it would just kind of freeze the whole unit up, which sucked. But that's the reason I really got the American release, which was a Scream release. This movie kicks ass, man. Yeah, you know, you could kind of put it in the Jaws ripoff kind of, category, in the sense that it's a big beast. But it coming from Australia and then having the visual language of Mulcahy at his height makes it a real unique picture, you know. If you know Australian horror, you know it's very bleak and, there's just a certain vibe to it, right? Add to that the kind of like 80s music video mentality that Mulcahy brought, and you got a really unique feeling picture. I really enjoy Razorback. It's possibly my favorite of the Jaws knockoff, variety of films. If you haven't seen Razorback, check it out. Love it. Next up, Parasite. Hadn't bought this. I mean, should have, but I finally found it for like $4. So I'm not gonna pass up on that. One of the better pictures of the last decade. Couldn't beat it for $5. Okay. Border. Now, Border is based on the book by John Ajvi Lindquist. I don't know if I pronounced his middle name right. Ajvid. Anyway, I read a lot of his books back in the early 2000s. And he's just excellent, man. Now, I haven't kept up since, I think it was Little Star, I think it was. In all honesty, now that I just say that, I haven't read in a long time, fiction anyway. Got to pick up on that again. But Lindquist's books are, I don't know, man. They're just so unique. I want to say that he's like, I think he's from Norway or Sweden or somewhere up north anyway. I want to say something like he's the Stephen King of it, but his books are much more substantial than King's. I don't mean that as an insult to King, but anyway. And so far, the adaptations of his work, Let the Right One In being, the most well-known one, have been pretty good. This got a lot of good reception. So, bought on a lark. We'll see. Border. I haven't read the book it's based on, but Lindquist did impress. So that's what I'm going on, man. Hoping for the best. Here's a favorite of one of our homies, Joey. The Devil Rides Out. This is a Hammer classic, man, with my boy Christopher Lee. Man, this is great. This is, based on, what's his name? I forgot. Damn, the guy that wrote these books, Dennis Wheatley. A lot of these, cultic, kind of satanic panic style of books that he wrote. And there was, To the Devil a Daughter was another one that was based on him. But Devil Rides Out is the one that stands out the most. It's awesome. Of course, some of the stuff is dated in it. One of Hammer's best offerings, though. And again, Lee just really stands out in this, man. Also, it's got a weirdly comedic looking devil that's just kind of sitting there and looking funky guy. But Devil Rides Out, man. It's a classic. Got that one on Scream sale. This is a movie I have never seen, but based on the Richard Matheson story or book, I should say. That it in itself is kind of like a version of Shirley Jackson's story. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. I've heard good stuff about it. Haunted house style flick. Again, Scream Factory sale. I said this is my chance to pick it up for nothing. Legend of Hell House. I'm gonna check it out, guys. See what's up with it, man. Let me see. Roddy McDowell's in this. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm gonna check it out. See what's up. Hopefully it's good. Yeah, if you've been with us on the channel, you know that we've had kind of a love-hate relationship with Kevin Smith. Of course, his original View Askew Universe movies up to Clerks 2, we love. Awesome movies, despite their technical lack of prowess. But pretty much most of the movies he's done after that, a couple exceptions, have been ass. And in the View Askew Universe, now I haven't seen Clerks 3, but the reboot, geez, man, I wanted to kill myself. Awful. So much so that I refused to watch Clerks 3 because I was just like, no, I can't do any more of this, man. The man's just not the same person that he was. You know, he's kind of like lazily cruising along. But Jay and Silent Bob, man, strike back. This was kind of like originally intended as the goodbye to the View Askew Universe, and it went out with a bang. A fan pleaser of a movie, if you will. So I picked that up because I'm kind of like collecting all the original View Askew Universe stuff. Here we go. This is I believe an Australian DVD. Oh, I'm sorry, Blu-ray. Of the Ginger Snaps trilogy. Now, full disclosure, I've only seen the first two movies. Ginger Snaps and Ginger Snaps 2, what was it called? Unleashed. Never saw the third one, which is a prequel. But this set was mad cheap. So I picked it up. Good way to get all three of them. I was going to get it in the Scream sale, but it sold out. So I looked up and I was like, oh, they have a set with all three? I'll just get that and for the same price. Next up. 13 Ghosts. You know, 2000s kind of classic. If you were around that time, you were like, hell yeah, 13 Ghosts. Is it the greatest movie in the world? No. Is it kind of nostalgic fun? Yes. Conceptually, very entertaining, of course. You know, kind of amped up the formula of the William Castle original. And I think what everybody, of course, remembers besides the naked booby ghost was the fact that the ghosts are pretty interesting. You know, and this was one of those things that when it was on DVD, and those features are thankfully here, you know, people explored the lore on the DVD and it made the movie much more interesting than it actually is. Though it is an entertaining movie, but like I said, heavily flawed. Just, you know, a bit of nostalgia. Had to get it, man. Next up. The Craft. Now, I do have The Craft and the original disc released from the studio. Never picked up the collector's... Excuse me, whoa. The collector's edition that Scream released because apparently the... And I'm really burping up a storm. Apparently the transfer was inferior. And but this is a new transfer, and I mean, again, it had what was it? I think it was like $14, $12, something like that on sale. So I was like, yeah, Graft is one of my favorite movies of the '90s in terms of horror. So yeah, I was like, let me see what's up. Plus, it's got a few new features. Can't hurt, man. You know, can't hurt. Love The Craft. Next up, Death Becomes Her. This was another situation where, yes, there was a Blu-ray of it, but it had a very clumsy transfer. And this one came out, new transfer. Everybody was like, yes, that's exceptionally better. So I had to pick it up. Love Death Becomes Her. Again, a movie that kind of goes overlooked, you know. I don't know, man. If I remember correctly, this thing tanked hardcore. But it's a great horror comedy, you know. Emphasis on the comedy. Absolutely love it. Great cast. Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Isabella Rossellini. You know, it's got that wackiness to it. Yeah, Zemeckis you know, during the height of his power. He's kind of lost that nowadays, but great effects, you know, just a movie that I think that deserves a lot more love than it actually gets. Really fun time, man. Really fun time with this one. Next up, boom, Black Christmas. Hell yeah, dude. Now, I did intend to get the 4K, which had the Blu-ray with a new master on it, but this master is pretty good. It's a 2K master, and again, you know, it comes with a bonus features disc of its own, so that's a big plus. This is, you know, man, Bob Clark, also a guy that kind of still doesn't get all the love that he deserves. This, Death Dream, you know, of course everybody remembers him for, like, A Christmas Story, which is fantastic. But, you know, people kind of forget that this guy, you know, touched in the horror genre quite well and memorably. Black Christmas, awesome. This is the original, of course. I'm talking about Bob Clark original. There's been 2 remakes ever since. I don't remember the mid-2000s ones fondly. Maybe I have to revisit it, because I know there's a lot of people that do love it. And the new one, I didn't even bother to watch. I will, I guess, eventually. What is true is that this one is almost universally appreciated by those that are in the know. So that's the one I want to get the most, and thankfully that was for cheap on the Scream sale too. Next up, Raw, aka Grave. Look, man, this here picture is excellent. It was one of my favorites the year it came out. So much so that I imported a Blu-ray of it, because that was the only way it was available for a very long time. Still have that. Still plan to keep it. I just wanted this one because, well, in all honesty, I don't know if all the features that are on here are on that other one. I mean, I would imagine not. You know, and the other one, you know, is again a foreign disc. So, you know, even if they were, do they have subtitles or anything like that? I didn't ever bother to watch the features. Just the movie is just one of those that has that genuine artistic vibe to it that I kind of felt like I wanted to leave it unfettered. But it's been years. Scream released this. I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to pick it up, even though I have it. Much like Razorback, I was like, I need to have, you know, a copy that was made here in the States with its own stuff, so I can explore it now more than I did previously. But Raw is an excellent picture, man. Love this movie. Let's see. Last 3 in this box, but there's many more boxes. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, boy. This is, of course, a shout release of it. Man, this was a movie that I wanted a freaking Blu-ray forever. Only a DVD for a long time. Dude, this movie tanked. And, you know, of course I loved the D. Not that D, this D. You know, quite a bit. So much so that I was excited when, you know, there was going to be a movie, right? Then I saw that trailer. That's got to be one of the worst trailers. If there was ever a movie whose trailer dissuaded me faster, it was this one, man. I mean, I was like, whoa, that looks like ass. So I didn't watch it in the theater. But eventually, of course, I was like, I'm going to have to watch it, right? So when it came out on DVD, I watched it, and I was like, damn, I should have watched this in the theater, man. Not that it would have helped, because it tanked horribly. Probably because people saw the damn trailer. But this movie is freaking awesome. One of the best movie musicals in its own particular way. And just, if you like Tenacious D, you know, it's everything that you want come to life. Love it. Pre-Jack Black betraying Cage. So that's a good thing. Late Night with the Devil. One of the most well-received recent horror movies, and rightfully so. It's a pretty damn good picture, man, if I say so myself. I saw this with Guntik. Don't know what he thought about it, but I very much enjoyed this picture. Very much deserving of the accolades it got. The Running Man. This was a $5 find at Walmart. I mean, it's not a good movie, you know what I'm saying? But it is something that I have to add to my Stephen King collection, even though it's a horrible adaptation of the material. It's much more of a movie that you could say that's an 80s movie if I've ever seen one, you know? And that's largely how it's remembered and appreciated, as a big, cheesy, cornball 80s movie. Man, had to adjust there, guy. Alright, next box. Not Xbox, next box. Continuing with the Kevin Smith Universe collection. Rebought a copy of Clerks uncensored. This was, of course, well, originally censored on TV. It was on ABC, I believe. And they just ran a few episodes and then got canceled. Which was a damn shame, because this was fun and funny. You know what's not fun and funny? Jay and Silent Bob's Groovy Cartoon Movie. That fucking thing sucks. Man, that was bad. And again, that's way after the height of his Universe era, you know. But this was right smack dab in the midst of that Universe era. And it's a blast, man. A really fun show that I wish would have continued before he, you know, started really sucking. But I love it. Had to pick up. I have a copy, but it was all scratched up because I found it secondhand. My original copy, of course, gone to the wolves. But this is a nice spick and span copy. Speaking of shows, this is one of the greatest shows of all time. The Twilight freaking Zone, man. Original series. No hate on all the other ones that have come afterwards. You know, very uneven quality on a lot of those. The great moments are great, but largely forgettable stuff. The original is a stone cold classic. Even the lesser episodes are freaking memorable and cool. Love this series, man. I mean, it's one of the greats. It's one of the greats. Unfortunately, it comes in one of the worst packagings ever. I hate these stacks upon stacks of. I'm not even gonna open it because I fear that they're just gonna all fall out. I will say that this, I had to have it replaced because it came crushed the first time. So that sucks. But, I mean, Twilight Zone, baby. It's freaking amazing. One of the best shows ever. Next up, Monster Squad, baby. Have me pick between Monster Squad and Goonies because they're very similar in tone. Bunch of kids on a weird adventure in the 80s. I will always pick Monster Squad. No hate on the Goonies, but at 100 and something odd minutes, it's like almost 2 hours. Goonies, you kind of begin to feel it, man. And it's a classic. I love it. I love the kid. I always felt like, all right, let's move along, guys. Monster Squad packs a punch in an hour and a half, and it's all quality, man. Awesome, funny, quirky, cool effects. Monster Squad is it. Love it. Next, Frankenhooker. This is one of those, you know, cult, quirky classics that you either love or you hate. I happen to love it. A lot of people happen to love it. Yeah, man. Frank Henenlotter made well, you know, let's say like 3 or 4 movies that people really remember, and this is one of them, and rightfully so. Now, I haven't seen this in a very long time, so I may end up hating it, but at $8, I had to pick it up. This is a movie I love, man. Dark City. I've been waiting so long for this to get a much more upscale release, and Arrow finally did it. Now, I had the opportunity to see this theatrically back in the day, but I skipped out, and I was kind of glad when I saw, you know, once it was released on home video, it came out in director's cut. And I was so glad I waited, because eventually I saw the theatrical. Not saying it's a bad movie theatrically. I'm just saying that the choices made in theatrical were kind of confounding, because it kind of like stripped this of its impact and mystery. But the director's cut is the one to see. This includes both cuts, I think. No, it's the director's cut only. But if it did, I wouldn't care, because I would only watch the director's cut. But anyway, Dark City is fantastic. Sci-fi noir from Alex Proyas when he was, you know, at the height of his creativity. Love Dark City. Really excited to revisit that. Here's a movie that some people pretend they don't like, or they always... It's kind of a popular thing to look down on Independence Day. Why? Because, well, you know, Dean Devlin, Roland Emmerich, they've made a career out of destroying stuff and spectacle and all that jazz. But also they made Godzilla, which it's not a good Godzilla movie. Let's just say that and leave it at that nicety. But Independence Day, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. It's just a good movie. It's not is it a good popcorn movie? Like most people, you know, try to just say that to, you know, kind of hide the fact that they enjoy it. Yes, it's a good popcorn movie. It's a good blockbuster, all that jazz. But it's just a good movie, man. It's so well paced. It kind of moves you no matter how silly it is. It has some scary moments. It has some exciting moments. It has one of the great movie speeches of all time. Great cast. It's a movie that works almost perfectly, even in its sillier moments. It's kind of like the dragon that Emmerich's been chasing ever since. He never quite reached this again. Refused to watch the sequel. Anyway, I already have a copy of this, but the reason I bought it was because this includes the extended cut. It is a new scan, though. The original Blu-ray, I gotta say, is one of the scans that has held up. It was always kind of really good, but it also has some you know, features that are not on that other Blu-ray, etc. I did want to see this extended cut. It's not the director's cut, and largely people agree that the theatrical is still the way to see it. But it would be interesting to see more of the characters, which is what they trimmed down. Now you might be thinking, why would they trim down character work? Well, I gotta say, again, I haven't seen the extended cut. I kind of feel like the theatrical tells you all you really need to know about the characters. Again, it would be nice to see more of them, but it really does a good job of telling you everything you need to know, moving this, you know, at this alarming rate that somehow just works, you know, perfectly. So, I don't know. I'll see the extended cut, but just kind of wanted a little more Independence Day in my life, guy. This is a great possession movie, and there's not many of those. The Taking of Deborah Logan is one of those movies that, you know, was noticed by the horror community, but there's a particular scene in it that made the rounds virally online. That's kind of, you know, maybe giving it a little bit more notoriety. Albeit I don't know if it got it more viewers, but if you haven't seen The Taking of Deborah Logan, do, because it's freaking great. I won't spoil anything. Let's just say it's a really good vehicle for a possession story. Really good movie. Next up, we got a trilogy, baby. Quatermass movies. These are, let's see, this one's released by Kino Lorber, and these two were released by Shout. But they were all originally released by Hammer Studios, and they were all adaptations of Nigel O'Neill's longer form series of the same name. Now, a lot of people, of course, think this is the pinnacle of the Hammer movies. But man, that original television series is so fantastic. If you have a Region 2 player, I would recommend getting the television series. I don't have a Region 2 player, which pisses me off. You should be like, well, you're a freaking film fan guy. Get one. I don't know, man. I refused to do it. I do have a copy of the original series on, you know, burned discs, thankfully, but the movies are pretty damn great too. You know, condensed versions, but really good stuff. Yep, I had to take a little bathroom break there because I didn't want to pee myself. Anyway, let's get back into the swing of things. That's 2 boxes down. Let's go with box number 3, starting with the Drag Me to Hell Steelbook. Now, I believe this had a 4K also. I say I believe because the discs aren't in there. 4K Blu-ray and features disc, I want to say. But anyway, I only had the regular studio release one. And, you know, Sam Raimi classic IMO. So, this was a good opportunity with a Scream sale to get a boutique release of it. No regrets there. That sounds sarcastic, but yeah. Anyway, if you haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, what the hell's wrong with you, man? It's fun. It's a romp, a literal romp. You know, might as well be an Evil Dead movie by any other name. So yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it, but I'm gonna assume you have, because come on, classic. Another classic, The Ring. You know, and don't get me wrong, I haven't seen the third movie or whatever, but I kind of only want the first American movie, the Verbinski adaptation of Ringu. It's more the Asian ones that I want the sequels to, but not trying to hate on the other ones. I do have the DVDs that Brad sent me of those, so I'll recheck out part 2 and 3. I'll check out for the first time eventually, but Ring is where it's at, baby. This is a great remake, fantastic. Yet, despite it adapting a Japanese movie, it has its own distinct taste and approach, and visuals, and yet it honors that movie enough for it to warrant carrying the name. Ring, excellent. Next up, Slither, James Gunn's first officially directed movie. He was, basically a writer before that. So this was the first one where he got to just kind of unleash, baby. And of course, it's got all the gun shenanigans and markers, Michael Rooker included. Admittedly, I have not seen this movie since about the time it came out. Mind you, I saw it a few times then, but it's been a while. So this was a good chance to pick it up with the Scream sale, baby, at I think it was $9 or something. Next up are a couple of movies. I got these from the Vinegar Syndrome sale, and these were also mad cheap. These are movies that I had heard about just as a heavy music fan. Heavy Trip and its sequel, Heavier Trip. They got a lot of accolades, and I couldn't pass up on the sale prices for these. So I was like, you know what? This is a blind buy for me. But, movies like this, Deathgasm, which I have seen, anything that kind of tackles the heavy metal subculture with a tongue-in-cheek approach, sounds like a very fun time to me. And again, these got a lot of positive attention, so I had to pick them up during that sale. Hopefully they're fun. They sure as hell look fun. The blurbs all seem to say they're fun, so let's cross our fingers, folks. Next up, I think these are Swedish movies or Norwegian movies, I don't remember, but anyway, yeah. What was in there, man? I thought something moved around. Classic. Next up, let's see. Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Look, man, as a huge Exorcist fan, and who isn't, yes, of course, Exorcist 1 and 3 are the only two movies that I consider to be amazing Exorcist movies. But a part of me has a little bit of love for Exorcist the Beginning, both versions. Highly imperfect movies, but there's things in there that I enjoy. And I know this one here gets a lot of hate, but there's things I really enjoy in this movie. There's something about this movie that I don't think deserves all the hate it gets. Now, again, in light of the original and part 3, yeah, if you're going to be comparing, well, holy crap. And granted, this is literally a sequel to the first one in the sense that, we're following Regan again and all that jazz. But, I don't know, man. I kind of have a soft spot for, Exorcist 2. It's weird. It's got some really memorable moments. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. It's got my boy, freaking James Earl Jones. And this particular version has the original cut and the original home video cut, which is interesting. But, yeah, man. This was a great chance to get The Heretic because it was really expensive. And by that, I mean it was $25, which, I'm a cheap guy, I guess, but or I have a lot of patience. I was like, I'm not going to pay $25 for The Heretic when I know that I can get it for cheaper eventually. And that sale from Scream proved to be the moment. Next up, another Scream buy, Silent Hill. this is getting a sequel here from the director of Silent Hill, Christopher. Oh yeah, it is Christoph. Who also directed, by the way, Brotherhood of the Wolf, which I also got in this probably here somewhere. But anyway, I don't know how that sequel is going to be because it kind of looks like they need a little bit more money. But Silent Hill, I know some people have, some bones to pick with it because it's not like exactly like the game or whatever. It took its liberties. But I still thought it was a pretty good old picture, man. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Is it good? I think so. Gruesome, visually impacting. It's got a real tone to it that's memorable. Yeah, Silent Hill, kind of cool, man. Ooh, my freaking hat's making the visuals explode. Orphan. Now I do have this on the studio release, but again, it was cheap. This is a new scan. Has a couple more features in it. But yeah, again, Scream factory release. I got it for, I think it was $10, so couldn't pass up on it. Orphan's a really good movie, man. I still haven't seen the sequel. I know they're gonna make a threequel. So it's like, man, you're really stretching the limits how you can make a woman that is getting older play a person that's supposed to look like a child, but whatever. Original holds up incredibly well. I gotta say, I've watched this quite a number of times. I'm looking like this. Kind of weird, but anyway, whatever. Well, not weird because it's a good movie, but I mean, there's obviously better movies I could have been watching. Next up, I don't know if I mentioned this one in the previous one. It's in here though. The Kindred. Now they released, this is a Synapse release. They released like a super limited steelbook version. And this is 80s monster schlock. You know what I'm saying? Schlock! It's not a great movie, but there's something endearingly cool about it. The monster, how ridiculous it is, the effects, the bad acting, whatever. There's something endearing about The Kindred. But I was not going to pay $10 grillion for a steelbook version of it. I just crossed my fingers and hoped that they released a standard version. And they did, and it's the exact same disc. The only difference is you're not paying for a steelbook. And it was, priced perfectly. So I had to pick up The Kindred because I gotta love me some schlock, guy. Next up. Oh, I already did that one in another video. Here we go. This was a Scream sale get. Darkness. This has both cuts of the movie. I did see this theatrically. And it's a movie from Jaime Balaguero that's the reason I saw it. Also because Brian Usna produced it. I think this was during the Fantastic Factory era of Usna's production career. So that's why I watched it in the theater. And I enjoyed it. But it's not a movie for everyone. It's very sluggishly paced. That sounds bad, but it's intentional that way. What I didn't know theatrically was that was not the intended cut. There is a director's cut, and it does make a very big difference to understanding the picture better. I really enjoyed the movie. It's one of those movies that stayed in my head. You know what I'm saying? So when Scream Factory had it for freaking $4, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna get it. So there you go. Got that. Next up, oh, this is great, man. This is one of those movies, I say, like Friday. The movie Friday is basically Clerks, only written by and aimed largely at an African American audience. Burbs is basically a Tim Burton movie, only it was written by another weirdo, Joe Dante, and directed. I don't know if he wrote it. I'm assuming he did. He definitely directed. I don't know if he wrote it, but anyway, Joe Dante. But it has all the workings of a Tim Burton movie. The Burbs is awesome. Zany, kind of a horror comedy. Yeah, dude, this is a blast. This is a romp of a movie. Tom Hanks in his early days before getting more into dramatic stuff, obviously. Love it, man. I think this is one of the first movies that Guntik saw of Hanks, because he adamantly hated Hanks for a long time. But anyway, Burbs, super fun, man. Hell of a fun time. Joe Dante, 80s, early 90s. I mean, I'll say Joe Dante up to Matinee. Awesome stuff, you know. And then, of course, since people didn't watch his damn movies as much, he didn't get to make a lot of quality stuff afterwards. But Joe Dante is awesome. It's still so underappreciated. I say people didn't watch his movies so much, even though he has some of the most watched movies. But, you know what I'm saying? The weirder you got, the less people watched. But anyway, Scream. This is the fifth entry into the series. Had up to part 4, so I was like, well, I kind of need the other 2, so got Scream. That's the backstory there. Haven't seen it yet. I have only seen 1 through 4, so that's a thing. Let me see. The Penguin, the series, here recently. Goontick's seen it. I have not. I just bought it because, of course, Batman fan. Love Matt Reeves' universe. And I just have zero doubt that I'm going to like this, so obviously I had to get it. Next up, Megan 2.0. Admittedly, I haven't seen... why did I forget his name, man? Oh, Johnny Likes. Man, what the... I'm sorry, Johnny. I haven't seen Johnny Likes' review of this because I haven't seen the movie, and I just kind of wanted to go in as blank as possible. I know that it's a big tonal shift and all that jazz, but I'm game for it if it's good or fun or entertaining. So I just took a gamble because it was super cheap during the holidays, so there's that. Next up, Intruder. Admittedly, this is a movie that you know that they made because they had access to a supermarket, and most likely one of the people worked in the supermarket. But I also needed this because, you know, it's obviously related to Sam Raimi by default of its director, the recently deceased Scott Spiegel. This is the director's cut. I do believe there is another cut of this. Well, in fact, I know there's another cut of this because I have it downloaded. But, yeah. This is the director's cut. So that's what's on disc. The other cut, I forgot what the other cut is called. But it's not officially released anywhere as far as I know. Maybe Germany. They tend to release stuff like that quite a bit. But anyway, this was from Synapse. I got it from Mad Cheap. Again, it's not a movie I love per se, you know, but I also do love. It's got that indie, you know, kind of scrappy, we can do it on our own approach to it. Scott Spiegel's energy's in it. You know, you get a cameo from every great Sam Raimi compatriot, including Sam Raimi himself. It's got great gore. I'll tell you that right now. Great gore. It is fun. But I've never been a guy that's like, I love Intruder. But at the same time, kind of love Intruder. Not for everyone. Let me put it that way. Next up. Now, of course, I have multiple copies of this movie. But I wanted to get this one specific. This is the 40th Anniversary Collector's Edition. There's been 7 billion. There was a point in time when I collected versions of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just different releases. But I wanted to get this one because the presentation is really nice. This is the Dark Sky release that I have on single disc, but this has the 4 discs. Yeah, I don't know. I just always really wanted this particular version. And I found it for cheap on Mercari. So I said, yeah, let me pick that bad boy up, guy. And just add it to my Texas Chainsaw collection, which itself is pretty large. So that's really the reason I got it. I wanted all those special features that my single Dark Sky disc doesn't have. It just has the commentaries. So I wanted the second disc, and I wanted that nice presentation for one of my favorite movies ever. You know, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Alright, we're moving into a third box over here. Wasn't kidding about the amount of stuff. So let's start right here with this little batch right here. Boom. I've gotten Child's Play 1 through 3. Here's what sucks. With the Scream Factory sale hit, they had all the Child's Play movies for $100 for all the whole series. I was like, damn, if I would have known, I could have just waited till then and gotten them all for 99 bucks. But I had been buying them one at a time. So that's a thing. But thankfully with the sale, I still didn't go too much over the potential 99 I could have paid. I think totaled out to like 120. Bride of Chucky. Classic, man. I mean, that's really, this is how Chucky was reintroduced as a much more self-aware and comedic type of a series with a lot more of the personality of Chucky's creator. So we got a lot more Mancini, let's just say that. And this probably the most Mancini, Seed of Chucky, a movie that is still controversial among horror fans. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people are like, that's a thing I'm watching. I happen to quite enjoy it, though. Besides part 3, I love the whole series, and even part 3 I don't absolutely hate. Could have been fucking worse, but I guess if I had to put one in the least favorite category, besides part 3, it would be this one. But I love it, unlike part 3, so it doesn't really matter because the series is largely quality. Curse of Chucky, love it. This was really a nice return to form, man. Like a nice return to form. I was really pleased with the way they did this one. Really pleased. Let me see what we got here. I also got Cult of Chucky somewhere in here, or I should. Did I leave it out? Well, anyway, I got Cult of Chucky too. Maybe it'll come up. Which I love too, by the way. I know a lot of people hate that one. I love it. Humanoids from the Deep, aka Rapin' Fish, or fish that rape. This is like prime Corman, man. It's seedy, it's exploitative, thankfully watchable. Some Corman stuff is not very watchable, but this is again prime Corman, man. Great effects, man. Just fun stuff as far as effects go. This is the uncut version, which, if memory serves me right, is just one scene, like a beheading scene. That's the difference. But anyway, it has both cuts, really. But yes, the Scream sale allowed me to jump in on this 4K re-release, which also comes with a Blu-ray, which also has the 4K scan. So I was like, man, 14 bucks? Hell yeah. Inseminate me, Creatures of the Deep. Here we have Ignite Films' release of Reanimator. Now I have Reanimator, of course I do, freaking classic, Stuart Gordon, Brian Usna, but this is a really good scan, so says everyone. It's got a bunch of new features. They're going to do Bride of the Reanimator 2, which I plan to also get. Just when it comes to Usna, Stuart Gordon, I have no freaking hesitation buying a new version. Love those guys. Reanimator's a classic. Really. Oh, by the way, another major factor on why I got this was because it has the integral cut. Now, Arrow had released a limited version that included the integral cut, but it was limited as hell, and it's super expensive in the second market. Kind of expensive when it came out too, but this one has it. That was another great reason to get it. It has both cuts, but it does have the integral version. Again, a bunch of legacy features, a bunch of new features. This was a no-brainer for me, man. Here's the thing I got. Halloween Trilogy. Now you might be thinking, you didn't have this already? Well, no, because Halloween Kills freaking blows, and it killed me to think of buying it. But I do love 2018, and yes, I love Halloween Ends. Thought it was awesome, refreshing. I'm just not the guy that's like, let's throw Michael Myers out there again, have him slaughter again, and either make a really clumsy chronology or continuity, or just have a bunch of slaughter on the screen. I want something different done with this series, man. And Ends provided that while still expanding on the concepts provided with Michael's mysterious evil. I loved Ends. Hate Kills. Hate it. But found this for 14 bucks. I did have 2018 already, but again, it's the fact that I had to buy Kills killed me. So technically, I just paid enough to buy one of these. And, you know, yeah, you have to watch kills if you're going to watch a trilogy. But no, I didn't. Technically, I didn't have to pay for King Arthur. I really like this take on King Arthur. Of course, the whole shtick is a more realistic take on, you know, the possibly real King Arthur, which likely wasn't real person. But, you know, I mean, it's not really realistic. But I did enjoy this movie quite a bit. Watch it theatrically, had a real fun time. Anton Fuqua directed it. Had a nice cast. This one with Clive Owen was being seen as a leading man, which honestly, he kind of was, but he didn't quite make it. The only reason I never bought this Blu-ray is because when Merlin and you know, his folk, the Picts, are all talking in the few scenes, the subtitles don't work on it. Now, I don't know if they fixed that because this is a newer release of it, but I doubt it. I think they're just printing the same on Blu-ray. But it's only a few scenes where that happens. You generally get the idea of what they're saying. If not, you can put the subtitles on for those scenes, whatever. It was $4, man. I'm not going to pass up on a movie that I really like for $4. Did have it on DVD. Just, I mean, $4 for the blue, okay? Let's see what's up here. Oh, there it is. Cult of Chucky. Again, some people don't like this movie at all. They were like, what the hell is this? And it is, again, like a complete U-turn in terms of tone and approach from Curse of Chucky, which was excellent and very well received. But it is wild, man. I love it. I loved Cult of Chucky. I hate that we didn't get a continuation right afterwards. You know, but Cult, awesome. Love it. Next up is, this was from Full Moon's holiday sale. Now, I had made a Full Moon video about my Full Moon collection, which I will have to remake because something happened and the audio is really messed up. But I have a pretty sizable Full Moon collection. I don't collect everything Full Moon. You know, you have to have a particular fondness for cruddy movies to even like Full Moon. And I have just such a love for Charles Band and his bizarre brand of quote-unquote filmmaking. Sometimes the guy can make some great stuff or produce some great stuff, but most of the time he's making clunkers, stinkers, crapsters. Sometimes it takes a while for his series to really gain steam, you know. Say what you will, but the man makes movies and does it on his own, you know, whatever. The ones that I like, though, I do like, and those are the ones that I'll buy. You know, again, I'm gonna be a guy that buys every Full Moon thing. So eventually I'll show those. These are the ones I got this time. Start with this one, Demonic Toys. Now, admittedly, I don't love Demonic Toys. I know a lot of people do. I think it's kind of stinky. But the reason I got it is because it is classic Full Moon era Charles Band stuff. But it's because of these movies. So eventually they started doing spin-offs of Demonic Toys. There's Demonic Toys 2, Demonic Toys vs. Doll Man, all that jazz, right? Well, eventually they started doing spin-offs, and they started with Baby Oopsie. The most annoying of these freaking toys. But this, we'll hear Baby Oopsie 2, Murder Dolls, Baby Oopsie 3, Burn Baby Burn, which really they could have just made into one movie. But kind of a good idea that they cut them into 3 because it's easier to consume crap in small chunks. But I don't know, man. There's something really freaking fun about these movies. Again, you have to have a particular love for this type of crap. But the lead actress, what's her name? Let me see, Libby Higgins, I think. She's great in these movies. They create like a real continuity that feels like you want to spend more time with these characters. So that alone is an achievement. They're just fun movies. They're little romps, man. And then those were followed up by Demonic Toys Jack Attack, another spin-off of Demonic Toys with the Jack Attack. And this one, also super fun. Super fun. It had a unique approach. I had a slasher feel. Obviously took some cues from the Terrifier craze. I'm not saying it's to that level. I'm just saying it took some cues. Fun. Surprisingly fun. I say surprisingly, well, not just because it's a full moon thing, because it's a modern full moon thing, which, you know, it's really hard to find some decent ones then. We're going to classic full moon at the end here, though, with Bad Channels. This is a movie that could only have been made in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously going for a kind of retro 50s sci-fi feel. It's very much tongue-in-cheek. If you get that, then you'll enjoy it. If you don't, you'll be like, what the hell am I watching? But it's, you know, I don't know. I think it's fun, man. Has some fun effects. Blue Oyster Cult produced the soundtrack to it. Now, I love my boys at the Blue Oyster Cult, but not a great soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? I don't bump these tracks. But in the context of the movie, very fun. So yeah, anyway, these are all linked because eventually Bad Channels crosses over into the Dollman universes, crosses over into the Demonic Toys universe. So that's the whole thing, you know. Next up, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, well, first of all, we gotta say rest in peace to one of my favorite actors. Always a pleasure to see him on screen. And, you know, it's one of those people you kind of took for granted because you always expect them to pop up. And whenever he did pop up, it was unexpected, even though you were hoping and expecting him to pop up in some horror film. But it was always like, oh, man, there he is, Udo Kier, doing his thing, being creepy, most likely being a vampire or a cultist or part of a vampire cult or something. A weirdo in general. Udo Kier. One of the greats, man. Just awesome. I love Udo. And so rip to him. But Flesh for Frankenstein. Man. This was not my introduction to Udo. Unfortunately, it was a much smaller role, as is usually the case for a lot of people who have seen Udo. Oh, look, that's a weird looking guy. I don't say weird, but you know, he's got a particular look. And it's usually a small part. But he was, you know, one of the driving force of Flesh for Frankenstein, man. A really weird, very campy, very intentionally exploitative 70s flick. Also known as Frankenstein 3D. This is one hell of a stacked set, first of all. This was from Vinegar Syndrome. And I had intended to get this when it came out, but it was super expensive, of course. And then the secondary market sales were insane, man. Like 140, 150, 129. So I was like, damn, I really missed out on this, man. But then with this recent sale they just had stock. And I was like, you kidding me? 40 bucks? Or actually I think it was 49 bucks. But I mean, that beats 150. I was like, I'm not going to skimp out this time. Had to get it. Flesh for Frankenstein. Just one of those, you know, very unique pictures that if you love, you love. You'll think it's hilarious. Or if you hate it, you'll be like, what the hell am I watching, man? Awesome. Love this movie. Udo really chomps up the scenery in it. Now, a lot of people think that this companion piece, Blood for Dracula, also starring Udo, this time as Count Dracula, is the superior picture. Now, I love Blood for Dracula, don't get me wrong, but I've always been a Flesh for Frankenstein guy. So, that's my pick. Very glad that I got this, but also very glad that I got this. This was from Severine. $9. Hell yeah, man. Udo me up. Next up. From Vinegar Syndrome, blah, 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 we got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Of course, like my Texas Chainsaw Massacre obsession, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is a movie I have, I think, just about every release of from the Blu-ray era. I used to have every release in the DVD era too, but those are long gone, unfortunately. Now, Vinegar Syndrome released this with a slipcover that had this art on it originally. And I was debating to get it or not, and I just, because, you know, again, I have the MGM one, I have the Scream Factory one, which is really nice. So I was like, should I get it? Should I not? I waited too long, and I didn't get it. But then, with this recent sale, they re-released this with a new slipcover, because the original slipcover just had this art again, which is really nice art, by the way. I'm not saying it's not. But this one has my boy Lefty, right up there with Leather and Chop Top. So I was like, oh, man. And it was $24. I was like, yes, I'm getting that. I am getting the hell out of that, man. And, yeah, man, I just love Texas Chainsaw 2 so much. I know some people absolutely hate it, but I love it, man. It's wild. It's cool. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's, it rips at the yuppie establishment. It's the formula of the original Texas Chainsaw, only with a blatantly comedic dark edge. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So I had to get that. Very glad that I did. Next up, the Plaga Zombie Trilogy. Now, I have not seen the third entry in Plaga Zombie, but I did back in the day have that disc. I don't remember who released it, but it had a part 1 and 2, and this is, I don't remember, let's see, Buenos Aires. Where's Buenos Aires? Argentina, I want to say? Whatever, anyway, it's from South America, and these guys kind of pulled a Peter Jackson bad taste move, and they just kind of made, some low budget indie, throw everything we got at the freaking screen, insanity, with part 1 and 2. Years later, I don't even know if they're involved in part 3, but I don't know. I don't know anything about part 3, but this is all 3 movies in one. Got it for mad cheap. I had to get it, man. I had to get it. Love it. Now I can see part 3 and see if I hate it, but we'll see. We'll see. Next up, we got The Last Frankenstein. Now, I haven't seen this movie. It is a Frankenstein movie, so it's a must-see for me. But I actually won this one, and it's signed by the director. So that's cool. I mean, that's a cool way to see it. It was on my radar because it is a Frankenstein movie. But, yes, like I said, I haven't seen it. But it was really cool to win this. And we shall see. We shall see if it's good or not. Next up, we got Perdita Durango. Now, I am a big Alex de la Iglesia fan. Previously, I had bought the Dia de la Bestia, Day of the Beast version. I'm sorry, release that Severine did. And I knew that Perdita Durango was also released. But I'm glad that I waited because I got this for $9, man. So, I mean, that's a win right there. This is a very early Javier Bardem role, by the way. And this is kind of like a Natural Born Killers-esque, only like... It's weird, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird ride. Let's just say that. Alex de la Iglesia always provides some very interesting stuff. So, got that. Let me see. All this stuff is falling around here. Chucky, the complete TV series. Had to get it, And I know this got canceled too, which sucks, but knowing Mancini, he'll pick up the thread somewhere and make it work, So if Seed of Chucky was like the most Mancini you could get in the original series, this is probably the most Mancini you'll get, period, with Chucky. Chuckalicious, man. Can't go wrong. Put that there. Put Perdita there. Next up, continuing the View Askew Universe recollection. Clerks 2. Now, I had to get this release that the Weinstein Company and Genius Products released because the re-release version that... I forgot who re-released it. Had a running defect that the disc would stop playing. So I haven't checked it out yet, but this is the original release which didn't have that defect, so it should play. But Clerks 2, I think not a lot of people wanted anything after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And when Clerks 2 came around, I know there's some detractors, but I think people have realized as time has passed what I realized back then. And Clerks 2 was awesome. It was a really good way to end the series then. And I kind of want to just keep it that way, especially after watching Reboot. But I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually watch Clerks 3. I don't know. Mentioned this earlier. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Le Pacte des Loups, I believe. There was another release of this, but this 4K with Blu-ray has the new scan on it. The other release had kind of a ish scan. So I'm glad I waited because this was mad cheap with that Scream sale. This is, look, this movie has a lot of things going on, and you're either going to like that or you're not. But it is based on the events of the Beast of Gévaudan, which, was a kind of like werewolfish creature that kind of terrorized Gévaudan in France in the 1800s, I want to say. Doesn't say in the back, but anyway, whatever. But this movie kind of blends that story with... There's kind of like a what do I want to say? Kind of like a Moby Dick type of vibe to this movie. You know what I'm saying? There's a Moby Dickness to it, I can't quite tell you exactly why I say that, but that's the vibe I get. But it also has a lot of working parts. And again, you're either going to like that or you're not. The people that love this movie, and I'm one of them. Yeah. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Pretty great. Night of the Creeps. I got this because, one, I love Night of the Creeps. I love Night of the Creeps. I already have a copy. Gunta gave me one. It was the studio release. But this is the new scan. It has new features. 3 discs. One of them is straight up just a features disc. Director's cut, of course. But I also got this because it came packed with Tom Atkins himself, guy. Come on, man. Tom freaking Atkins, man. Hell yeah. Give me that right now. Love that. Next up, The Funhouse. Tobe Hooper. Man, I used to watch this movie a lot in the mid 90s. It would come out a lot on Fox on Saturday or Sunday. And I never caught it from the beginning. Except to, maybe like the 10th time I'd seen it or something. I never knew what it was freaking called, man. But eventually I did. And I was like, whoa, okay, The Funhouse. That's pretty cool. But all I remember about this movie are certain scenes. Of course, the look of the central creature. Guy, really. And that kind of freaking me out as a kid. The look was enough, I haven't rewatched this movie since the 90s. It is a Tobe Hooper movie, so, that alone was enough reason for me to get it. And this was, of course, from the Scream Factory, so it was mad cheap. I was like, I'm going to get the Funhouse, guys. See if it's fun, or see if it's just a house. I do remember enjoying that quite a bit, though, back in the day. Here's a movie you won't enjoy, even though it's excellent. Mystic... Why am I holding it backwards, guy? Mystic River. Clint Eastwood. So it's... It's freaking grumpy and gloomy. Yeah, this movie, it has some moments that'll really rip at you, man. Sean Penn movie, so I kind of want to punch it. But this is an excellent movie. But it is kind of one of those where you're like, I'm not going to watch that often because... the subject matter. Excellent cast, by the way. Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, Laura Linney. Laura Linney, by the way, does not get the credit she deserves. Just saying. Love her. Here's another dramatic piece. This one with Reese Witherspoon. Wild. Heard a lot of good things of this. Blind Buy. Dollar Fine, so I jumped on it. So we'll see what that's about. Continuing, and this is what got me to recollect my Kevin Smith View Universe stuff. Dogma finally got a new release, the formerly scarcely available release, can finally be put to rest. I did sell my copy of that, by the way, before this came out. And Goontic was like, dude, you shouldn't have sold it. But one, I found it for $2 and something cents. And two, I knew that this was going to come out. And this was before anything was announced. This was like a solid like year and a half, maybe even more ago that I sold it. But it was eventual and it paid off. Because they finally released Dogma again, stateside. I was glad that Lionsgate didn't limit this to a steelbook version, because I do hate that they do that sometimes. But, I mean, love Dogma, man. What is there to say? One of his best. Next up. Another Alex de la Iglesia movie, Acción Mutante. Another classic, weird Iglesia movie. You know, I haven't seen this one. I only saw it once, courtesy of a friend back in the 90s. But it's Alex de la Iglesia. This was Severine sale one, so it cost me $8. I was not going to say no to that, man. So Acción Mutante, look forward to revisiting it. Been a while. Next up, I showed that one a while back. It's weird. Let me just take the last few out here. This is Severine's release of Baskin. I have the Raven Banner one, but I wanted this boutique label release because it has Canaveral's short films included in it, on top of, you know, some new features. Really, really love Baskin, man. Visceral, Lovecraftian. It's kind of like one of those things where you're dropped into an experience and you go through it and you come out the other side going, what the fuck? You know, Baskin. You'll either bask in it or you won't. But I'm gonna tell you, baby, I basked a lot in its glory. It is a very unique picture. And by Lovecraftian, I don't mean tentacles, in case you're wondering that. I mean cosmic, I mean crossing of events, I mean cults, I mean weirdness. Yeah, this is a surreal masterpiece. Love Baskin. Then, Scream Factory sale. Elvira's Haunted Hills. Full disclosure of the Elvira movie. By the way, this came in a hard case, which I did not know that was the case, but that's cool because my Arrow version of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, has a slipcase, so it'll mesh well with it. But full disclosure, of the two Elvira movies, this is my favorite. I love this movie, man. Yes, of course, the first one is 80s camp, you know, super cornball. But this one, I think, is a good balance of Elvira's brand of humor and like a Hammer style, you know, gothic movie. Really, really enjoy this movie, man. I think it doesn't get the attention it deserves. Real fun time. If we're going to have one last Elvira movie, this was a good one to go on. Next up is Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection. Man, I hate... They released the 4K set. First of all, if you wanted that 4K set in the limited version, you're out of there. You're paying tons of money now if you didn't get it. And either way, I hate that they didn't include a Blu-ray version with the new scans, with the new cut of Part 5. They did that when they re-released Part 1 on 4K, which has a slightly, you know, by seconds, longer cut of Part 1. They didn't include the Blu-rays, man, and that pisses me off to no end, man. I am not a fan of that. So I just bit the bullet. I said, you know what? Since they did me dirty like that, I'm just going to buy the freaking movies on the Blu-ray version, man. I did have these on DVD, but I had always been waiting because I knew eventually they would release the Part 5 with the extra footage or you know, whatever, right? But whatever, man. This is how I saw the movies anyway to begin with. I ain't hurting. There we go. Scream 6. Again, haven't seen. Wanted to complete the series. Wanted to watch the whole series before 7 comes out. Only haven't seen 5 and 6, so there you go. This one, Angst. Also known as schizophrenia. And there's another name it's known as, but I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it here. Nope. Anyway, Angst is a movie that chronicles the post-prison release of a madman. And there's a very unique visual style to this movie that even if the unsettling material might make you kind of uneasy, you gotta appreciate the artistic value of it, and it's not glorifying this guy. In fact, it's showing him almost comedically awful at being an awful person. But it's a very unique mind trip, literally, as in you're in the mind of this dude. And again, the visual style alone deserves accolades. Angst is a movie that deserves a lot more attention, and yet at the same time I'm kind of glad that it doesn't have the attention it deserves, because some people would probably misconstrue what's going on here. Anyway, this is a Polish movie, and that's why I'm pronouncing it Angst. For those of you going, what the hell, dude? Let me see. Twilight Zone Season 1. This is the Jordan Peele iteration of Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone Season 2 is freaking like $40, guy. What is that? Anyway, I found this for $5. I saw it. Look, full disclosure, I didn't see the rest of the series. I saw the first episode called The Comedian, I believe, with, what's his name? Oh, gosh, I forgot his name, dude. Kumail Nanjiani, that's his name. Absolutely hated that episode. Thought it was awful, man. Too long. I don't know. It's just a bad episode. I was confused at why they would decide to start a series with that episode. But anyway, this has all the other episodes of the first season, so I'm going to check it out. Hopefully it's better, at the very least, for Jordan Peele's episode. And that's really why I got it, because of the Jordan Peele factor. It does include black and white versions of every episode. That's kind of cool. We'll check that out. Scream Factor still get Havoc. This is a movie starring Anne Hathaway, which, you know, I got a little Anne Hathaway collection. But it's basically about rich kids that are basically trying to live lives that they can never live, you know? Posers, man. Living in a way that suggests that they've come across a harder life than they really have because they're rich kids. Some cringe moments in it because of that, but kind of a thing that happens, man. So anyway, Havoc, got that. Super cheap. Samurai Jack, been wanting to get this dang series forever, man. I love Samurai Jack, one of the best animated series ever. Gendy, awesome. Writer, animator, etc. This has all the seasons. Need I say more? Samurai Jack, awesome, dude. Next up, we got Enigma from Fulci. This is a kind of Fulci doing Carrie kind of type of movie, and this was from Severine, and I got it for so cheap, dude. And this is the limited version with only 3,000 units made, and it comes with the soundtrack. So that's cool. I got it for nothing, man. Literally $10. Comes with a nice slipcase. Probably more than the movie deserves. But there you go. And then we got Demonia. His kind of like non-exploitation-ish kind of horror. Again, very nice slipcase. Yeah, Fulci. My Fulci collection grows. I really need Manhattan Baby, which I know is another one that people don't really dig as much of as his classic stuff, but I actually kind of really like Manhattan Baby quite a stinky bit. So let me just put these back in this box, and we'll get to the Brad box here to finish this whole horde of flicks up. Give me 1 second. Probably should cut. Maybe I won't. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so Brad sent us another box. We're going to see what's in it. Kind of been holding on to it here, but again, haven't made a video in a month because of the aforementioned reasons. And also here recently, when I did have a chance to film with Guntik, we had the unfortunate passing of his doggy, which sucked. Obviously, dogs are beautiful, innocent little creatures, and we loved her. Poppins was her name, and she was a rascal. Cute little dog. It just was so sudden and unexpected, man. So obviously, I'm just gonna knock this Brad box out by myself because I don't want to be bugging Guntik in his time of grief. Well, let's see what's in here, man. Let's see what old Brad sent us. First up, we got Steven Soderbergh flick, Presence. I love Steven Soderbergh because he takes chances with his films. That being said, this kind of came and went. Nobody really said anything. Sometimes that happens with some of his movies. Sometimes the chances he takes don't exactly hit. But I'll always appreciate his willingness to try new things, try any genre he can, etc. This is in 4K, so I won't be able to watch it, but Guntik will. Let me see. We got a copy of Sin City, which I never turned down. In fact, one of the customers at work gave me this copy of Sin City with Marv and Goldie on the slipcover. Of course, has the same disc inside. I used to have every variant of these slipcovers, by the way. I just love Sin City so much. I'll never turn down a copy of the old Sinster. It Comes at Night. This is a movie. Yeah, this is a movie. This is a movie I saw by myself in the theater. Not exactly what I would call a crowd pleaser, but it was pretty good. Definitely one that I want to see again because the trailers created a different type of expectation for it. Not that I'm one to be thrown off by that, but you know, I want to give the movie every fair shot that I can. This is a movie I know one thing about, and this is that it tanked horribly. Excuse me. It's called Americana, and stars Sydney Sweeney, which was kind of the it girl for a while until she decided that she was the shit girl. Does star also Paul Walter Hauser, which I love. And Halsey? That's weird. Anyway, gonna check that out. You know, despite the Sweenster being crapster. Let me see what else we got in here. Best 24 of 2020 Wrestling, WWE. I miss certain eras of wrestling, man. Oh, we got Hard Eyes. This was a slasher that came out, a couple years ago? Maybe last year even? Did kind of want to see it, and I've seen some people really like it, so I'll give that a shot, man. See what's up. Red Planet. Man, I remember the trailers to this. I remember going, I believe it was this movie. Could be wrong, but I believe it was this one. Damn, was it that other Mars movie? I don't know. Anyway, it might have been this one. It might have been the other Mars movie. It came out around the same time that The Ninth Gate came out. And me and my group of buddies went. And only me and another friend went and saw Ninth Gate, which I freaking love. I love The Ninth Gate. And everybody else went to see Red Planet or that other Mars movie, which might have been the other one now that I think about it. And they all hated it. So that's the thing. But anyway. Let me see what else we got here. Rust. A movie that, of course, grew in infamy because somebody got shot, tragically. So we'll see if it was worth the blood spilled. Rust. Coincidentally, rust, the color of blood when it starts to dry. Oh, this is cool. The slipcover version of The Mist. Love The Mist, man. God, that's such a good movie. Frank Darabont, King. Awesome. We got... What the hell, dude? We got some movie called Osiris, which apparently has Linda Hamilton in it. But look at the creature on this cover. What is that face, man? I don't know about old Osiris here. But, I guess we'll check him out, guy. That is Linda Hamilton, right? Or am I tripping balls? Hold on, let me read this real quick. Max Martini, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. She's last build, so you know she's in it for 3 seconds. Ah, man, this is on 4K only. Please don't tell me. Ah, man. Damn it. Godzilla -1. Damn, this was a great Godzilla movie. Possibly the greatest. Only on 4K. So Guntik's gonna get that one. Love it. Love it, man. Such a good movie. Such a good movie. Let me see. We got Aftermath with Schwarzenegger. Was this a zombie movie? I believe it was, right? Matching Red loses his wife and daughter in a plane crash. Nope. The same is true for Jake, the air traffic controller who nearly caused the accident. Okay. It just seems to be like a drama about dealing with death. Interesting, but not a zombie death. Next up, we got Coyotes, starring Justin Long, he of the Scream Kingness. So you know he's probably dead in this. Trapped in their Hollywood Hills home, a family fights for survival when caught between a raging wildfire and a pack of coyotes. Savage ones at that. As the city loses power and chaos spreads, nature turns feral, and what starts as isolated attacks escalates into a terrifying siege. Dog horror? Hell yeah. Salem's Lot. This is getting a new release from Arrow, I want to say. Yeah, Arrow. In fact, a recent purchase from Arrow had this in there. But I gotta say, man, that this transfer is really good. This old transfer. So anyway, Salem's Lot, one of the great Stephen King adaptations. Toby Hooper adapted, very much Hammer influenced. Devil. This was M. Night Shyamalan produced. Pick. Let me see. What year was this? Oh, yeah. The Night Chronicles. That's what they called what was potentially going to be a bunch of, kind of like M. Night Shyamalan Presents. But I believe this is the only thing that ever came out. You know what? It's a pretty damn good picture. I really enjoyed it. And it's from the Dowdle Brothers, which I really love them. They're great. Love the Dowdle Brothers. Haven't seen something of theirs in a while. But Devil. Awesome. Let me see. Last big batch here. Ugh. Take it out. Usual Suspects. Classic. Stained by the fact that Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey are involved. But it's a crime classic. Admittedly, I never rewatched it past the first time that I watched it. So, is it one of those that doesn't play as well the second time? I don't know. Afraid with the AI highlighted. So, tech horror. So, Guntik's going to hate it. And he's probably going to be right for hating it. Didn't hear anything about this. John Cho's in it. That's about it. Shin Godzilla in 4K, baby. Shin Godzilla was my favorite Godzilla movie until I saw Godzilla -1. Let's see what we got here. Throw this thing away. Bonus features on Blu-ray and UHD feature. Damn it. I don't think Guntik has this, so actually I think he does. But anyway, whatever. He doesn't have it on 4K. Oh, man. Damn it. Damn you, Brad. So he sent me a copy of Candyman Day of the Dead, which is a freaking awful movie. But it does have my homie Tony Todd in it. And, Candyman, gonna go in my Clive Barker collection. But man, this is a bad movie. Super awful. Hate it. Wanted him to die. Next up, Turtles, all 4 films in the original continuity. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and the TMNT animated feature. And what the hell, dude? These things are... I hate when they stack discs up. What is that, man? Who does that? Who? Hold on, I gotta click them in. No, they don't even stack up well in here, gang. This is a thing people do, or companies do, man. Hate that. Whatever, I guess I'll have to... Oh my... Oh, come on, man. Alright, this is a thing I'm doing. Come on. I'm gonna have to put them in a different case. Anyway, I'm assuming he sent that because the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set is out. Man, I'm so hesitant to get that because I really only want part 1. Part 2, whatever, you know, fine. Part 3, though. Anyway, next up, Cuckoo, a movie I did want to see but never did. So, yeah. I feel this is one of those movies that's a little too weird for some people. They maybe didn't like it. Or maybe it just sucks. I don't know. We'll find out. Amber Lamps. Ambulance from Michael Bay. This did look interesting. I do like that Michael Bay is not adverse to limiting himself as far as Michael Bay can anyway. And this seemed pretty interesting. But according to this tag in the back, Non-Stop Bayhem. Maybe it's just bayed up as heck, man. So that's a thing. Black Friday. Starring Bruce Campbell. We'll check that out, man. Admittedly, Bruce Campbell's non-Evil Dead movies usually blow donkey balls. But maybe this one's good. Can't be as bad as Man with a Screaming Brain. And then let's see. That's it. Last one. In the Mouth of Madness, baby. Freaking classic. One of my favorite Carpenter flicks. Possibly my third favorite. Going in my Carpenter collection. I already have a copy of it, but I don't give a shit, guy. I'm keeping it. Gunther's gonna be like, you didn't give me In the Mouth? I'm gonna be like, nah, homie. We'll watch it with him, though. Love this movie, man. Possibly my third favorite Carpenter movie. I'm gonna say it's my third favorite. Apocalypse Trilogy is my top 3 freaking Carpenter movies, man. Yeah. So there you go. That was the Brad box. Pretty cool, man. Brad always delivers. Love that about him. So let us know what you think about all this madness. That was an hour and a half of movies, man. The hell. Could have watched the movie during that time. Anyway, I'm out.